I've been in the industry for about, almost 11 years now. But now currently I'm at Netflix on Craig McCracken's next project, which is Kid Cosmic. Starting on YouTube is great because you instantly have the whole world can be your viewers, and you post and it can instantly be seen. That's pretty much what helped us with Ollie Scoop. Just started posting them and they gained viewership. With TV shows and Netflix and all that, you have an audience, but not everybody has Disney XD or not everybody has Netflix. But with YouTube, the whole world can see right away. So I think the best starting point, like I say, just if you're making stuff, just start putting it on YouTube and make the show for yourself, and the audience, I think, will come. They'll see that you're having a good time making the project. You'll get an audience soon enough. And then I find that Twitter is maybe not for everybody, but I find Twitter as being a really great tool to get your stuff promoted and get people seeing your artwork and your projects. Yeah, Twitter's been a really great place to show your stuff and find artists too. I have like an artist list made up of people that I don't even personally know them, but I just really like their artwork. So I'll just save them to like an artwork I like list. And that's like a quick go-to list of really cool artists and their work. So yeah, I don't know. I find Twitter's a really great place to be seen and show off your stuff and find great artists too. When I start a new show or a new project, I just really like to pick a good friend of mine that I just love their design and their work, and I just pick them to design the show. So with Too Loud, it was my friend Benjamin Anders. I love him. I love his art. I've been a huge fan of his artwork for over 10 years. And so when it came time to design Too Loud, I just said, hey, you take this at the helm and you design the main characters and the leads and the world and everything. And so he did. And then for Ollie Scoops, I had met Natasha. I just was a huge fan of her artwork on Twitter. And then I was like, hey, one day, whenever I get another project, I want you to design something someday. And then when Ollie Scoops came around, I was like, you design it. You design all the characters. Do whatever you want. And then, whatever's my next project, I'll pick another awesome designer friend of mine so they can design that show. Each script, I'll usually do 3 or 4 drafts, maybe more. There's a lot of different ways I do it. I'll either have an idea all on my own and I just write the script all by myself because I have a very specific idea. Like the old Crumple Cranks one, that was completely just me going, I want to do a Fleischer, Popeye, Betty Boop homage, and I can handle the story, I can handle the writing and all that. Other times I'll do a collab. I'll have like a writer's room. We'll have like a physical writer's room. They'll come over and we'll kind of just volleyball ideas back and forth. There's an upcoming episode called Warm Cream, and that one was a writer's room one where it was like 3 or 4 of us all coming up with the idea together. We all come up with the story together and I will write the script. Along the way, I'll share the script with a couple of those friends and maybe they'll help me punch up some of the dialogue or tweak this gag and make it funnier. Let's push the weirdness, push the funniness. And then other times I'll have someone completely different write the script for me, and then I'll go through it and kind of tweak the dialogue. And sometimes they'll come up with the whole story. Their act 3 maybe is a little not working quite as well, and I'll kind of rejigger the act 3. There's like kind of 3 different ways that I write, either all by myself, someone writing it, and I go in and kind of fill in the blanks, or me and a few friends come up with the story together and polish the jokes and the gags and everything once the script is written. Right now, I am tackling multiple storyboards at once because we ran out of boards to animate to. So to make sure that doesn't happen again, right now there's like 5 episodes being storyboarded all at once right now, just so we'll make sure to have enough. Usually we handle a couple episodes at a time. As for design, Natasha, my designer, she is always working on designs, so she's kind of just going through the episodes, continuously working. Storyboards right now, yeah, we're doing like 5 boards all at once. Backgrounds and animation, we'll do one at a time. We'll animate and do backgrounds for episode 6 from the start until episode 6 is done, and then we start episode 7 when episode 6 is done. As for records and voice acting, I pretty much get the voice actor records as soon as the script is done, because you never know what'll happen, like a pandemic. I had a bunch of records done in January and February. I have Ollie recorded up until like episode 13 right now, so technically I don't need to ask Kimmy to come into the booth to record Ollie for like another year and a half probably. I have that much of her recorded so far. I figure if the writing is done, just get the voice actors as soon as we can, just in case. That's pretty much the scheduling that I do. I think I started a script for an episode like 3 months ago, and I haven't touched it in a while. I think writer's block, having a deadline and forcing yourself is definitely a good way to cure writer's block, is having a set deadline and making yourself have to write. I would say having a deadline is probably the best cure for writer's block. So Ollie and Scoops, they're best friends, they love each other. I really like to display that in not only their writing, but also their animation. I always love them hugging, or Ollie putting a hand on Scoops' shoulder. I find that when the characters in a cartoon are touching, that really hits home the cuteness of it and how close these characters come off. I was working on a show where the main characters, they would never be with each other and they would never be like in contact with each other. And it always just felt like the characters were just so distant and they didn't really care about each other. And as soon as we started having them like hugging more, or like high-fiving, or just more physical contact, suddenly all this love and this appreciation for between the characters came out more. Absolutely. I'm going to do, you're hearing it here first, I'm going to do Ollie and Scoops Quickies, which are going to be like 30-second or 1-minute episodes that don't have any dialogue, specifically just for getting more content out and having stuff to go up in between the big episodes that take 3 months at a time. Yeah, making more content is never a bad idea. I know Vivzy Pop, she did Has Been Hotel, and I know that during the time that it will take to do more or do a second episode, I know she was planning to do comics in the meantime. So she has the same idea. I don't think it would be confusing to the audience at all to just make comics in addition to your series. Yeah, go for it. So many parts. I love first getting an idea and getting really pumped about it and being like, oh my God, this is going to be so cool. So like the very beginning and then the very end when it's all done, and seeing people watch a new episode and just saying that like an episode just totally blew their minds or whatever. That's always a great feeling to hear that people really enjoyed the episode. I don't know, the beginning and the very end, but then everything in between too, because the whole process is fun. Okay, one of my favorite parts of the process is whenever I get back animation, and it's like so cool to see your characters moving and they're in full animation and they look great. That there's nothing quite like that. I just like get so I dance around my room when I get new animation. I'm still learning that too, honestly. I mean, we've gotten to a good spot, Ollie and Scoops, as far as subscribers, but we could always use more. So I'm kind of learning at the same time as doing this. I think just the more you make, the more people will see it. I notice that, every episode of Ollie and Scoops we make, the episode comes out, and then within a couple days, the subscribers have jumped another couple thousand. So just the more you make, the more people share it, share it around the internet, and the more eyeballs see it. I'd recommend just promoting the heck out of it on Twitter and Instagram and all the social media stuff, and then just keep making more. Just make as much as you can, even if you're crowdfunding, or even if you can't afford a 6th episode or whatever. Just keep making it the best you can, and just keep putting stuff out there, and the audience will grow, I think. keep making stuff and making characters that you enjoy and write stories with them that you find entertaining and you find funny. Just keep making them, and eventually the audience will come and the audience will see how much fun you're having, and it'll shine through and you'll get followers. And also promoting everything as much as you can on social media too definitely helps. I've promoted so much that I have run out of time to promote, and I have hired a friend of mine to be kind of my social media coordinator. So he sort of takes care of like all the posts on Ollie Scoops social media and stuff now. But yeah, so posting on social media and promoting that way also helps a ton. Yeah, a big difference. Too Loud was for DreamWorks. We didn't like try to push the envelope or be crude or say bad words or anything, but Too Loud was a kid show, and DreamWorks was very much like, hands-on with in terms of making sure that we wouldn't say anything was too adult or have them be in any kind of situation that might not be kid-friendly. Like, I wanted Sarah and Patrick to go on a date in one episode. They declined because they said that was going on a date was too adult of a situation for the show. So, but with Ollie and Scoops, there is no studio involvement and there's no network notes. So yeah, I'm keeping it an all ages show, but at the same time, I can kind of do whatever I want. So the amount of freedom is the big difference. Yeah. And there's tons of things working in the industry that help me run things myself. Just observing the showrunners of stuff I have worked on, and see how the crew likes to be treated, and how to keep everyone motivated and in good spirits. Of course, scheduling that's helped a lot. Is being in the industry and working on something with a very tight schedule. Yeah, that's helped a lot with scheduling and seeing how long I should have things being worked on and how long it should have been done a long time ago. So much of it is learning on the job. So I'm glad that I learned what I'm learning on the job. Otherwise, I would have no experience to have. But before going into my own animated show, I think I would have wished that I had either hired an entertainment lawyer or someone to deal with the voice actors' agents and managers. I don't dislike going through them, but it takes up a lot of time and a lot of paperwork when I'm setting up voice actors through their agents and their managers. A lot of paperwork that I just don't know how to do. That's where having an entertainment lawyer or a manager of my own would come and help. So they could just worry about all that stuff and I could just worry about, making the cartoon. But as of right now, I'm still kind of being my own manager and agent. So I'm kind of learning how to do all this paperwork and junk that that I guess I probably shouldn't have to learn, but it's fine. I kind of go crazy if I'm not working on stuff. That's why Ollie and Scoops came around, is because we finished Too Loud. And there was no more Too Loud to work on. And I'm like, well, if I don't have anything to work on, I'm going to go nuts. I kind of was like, what can I work on right now? And I just looked at old pitches and stuff from, before Too Loud. And then I came across Ollie and Scoops and I said, oh yeah, let's jumpstart that. But it's been 5 years since I've touched it. Let's completely reboot it. I'll get an actual character designer to, update all the character designs. And then I had 3 episodes already written. The first 3 episodes were written 5 years before we even started animating them. But then we just got into Ollie and Scoops. We just got into it right from there. So I find the time and the energy because I make the time and the energy. Otherwise, I won't have, I don't know. I'll just be sitting around moping all day. The whole key to life is to distract yourself with as many projects and fun things to do as possible. Including the voice actors. The voice actors is at least a dozen people. I try to have a different board artist for each episode just to have different flavor and a different voice for each episode. A lot of the longer episodes coming up have 2 board artists, so at least 10 board artists so far. There's 1 character designer. There's 2 background artists. We used to have 6 animators. Now we're having around 10 animators. So I'm gonna say it depends on the episode, but probably around 30 to 40 people per episode. And then how long does it take to produce one episode? There's sometimes I'll write a whole script in a day. Other times I'll take like 2 weeks to write a script if I'm having trouble with it. The storyboard would usually take like hopefully no longer than 2 months to do a board. Animation, hopefully no longer than 2 months. So usually an episode will take 4 or 5 months from starting to write it until animation is finished. It seems less because we've been working on them and we have episodes already coming out. So it seems like, I guess it seems like it's less time. I'll either ask friends of mine that I already know. I must bug her so much, but my friend Ariel, who worked on Star with me, I'll just constantly ask her like, hey, are you free? Do you want to storyboard an episode of Ollie Scoops? I'll either reach out to friends and ask them to work on my stuff. If everyone I know is busy, or if I can't ask anyone else, then I'll either ask recommendations from my crew if they have any people they want to recommend, or I'll go on Twitter and just, hey, I'm looking for a couple storyboard artists. Just post your reel or your examples of your board work. And when that happens, it's awesome. And I thank everybody, but it's like, I get like 100 comments with links to people's work. So it takes me, a couple days to go through everybody's, then I'd feel bad that 100 people respond and there's only 2 or 3 people that I need. So having to, reject 97 people and accept 3 people is always kind of the hard part. I pretty much, it's either people I know or I'll just do a cold call and help wanted kind of thing on Twitter. I pay everyone who asks to be paid. A lot of the times my voice talent, they will insist to not be paid, which is super nice of them, but I don't like having people do work for free. So only some of the voice actors have ever insisted that I don't need to worry about it and don't worry about paying them. As far as someone who doesn't have much of a budget, it can be really tough if you don't have a budget to make stuff. But I say if it's $5,000 or $5, do the best you can and just make stuff. Gather the people that you can get. The idea is to just make stuff and have fun with it and get your creative voice and turn it into something fun and creative. It's tough to get a lot of people on board when there's like no budget. Just do the best you can do with what you have. Part of your job as a showrunner, I'd say the most important job is to make sure that everyone working for you is happy. Anyone is not happy, then get on it and make sure that they're happy. Otherwise, you could lose them. Keeping team spirit high, always tell them that they're doing a great job and, always thank them, always be gracious, always credit them, of course. Obviously, it seems obvious, but it goes a long way when the artist will see their name in the credits and it just makes them feel really, really good. I always get people posting screen caps of their name in the credits. Always makes them feel good. But obviously credit, always, tell them they're doing a great job, always thank them. Best advice I can give is just keep making stuff. I started as just one person in 2006, just making my own little animated shorts all by myself. I just got to the point where I saved up enough to where I could hire a team. Best thing I ever did was my mom's advice was to get an LLC. I have Nico Animation LLC. It's a real company, and I hired my crew under the LLC. When tax time comes around, you get a nice refund because of all the expenses that I used toward it. That's the best way to grow as a company. I say once you have enough funds to where you can have a crew, look into getting an LLC or a blank incorporated or whatever you'd like. I think having a legit business name totally helps too.